All right, Shalom. Want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect, and Shalom to all the Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. Okay, coming back again with another video, quick lesson through the spirit. Sitting here watching this movie Roots. All right, we rewatching it. Remember being a child, mid 2000s on BET, watching this film, kind of understanding it, but having more of an understanding now. And something I noticed was, Esau wore wigs, and of course we know that, due to, George Washington's, a lot of the early presidents and, European settlers who came and conquered the Americas, all right, wore these wigs, etc., But I find it interesting that, here it is, Esau, all right, has taken some of his wicked customs, okay, and placed it upon Jake, all right, and now has made it into a very large money route, all right, and profit margin for himself. Okay, and see, if you niggas was smart, you will understand that this man has set a lot of this shit up to further oppress you. Okay, and it really fucks you up, because once you understand the scriptures and you understand the curse upon the so-called black woman, and the Edomites pretty much has capitalized off of Jake's curses. Okay, once taking a custom that he has practiced and now has made it into a large profit margin that is global. Okay, and some that I do not see, going away until the Lord arrives. Because niggas are completely delusional and stupid. Okay, they don't understand and see the oppression that's being brought upon them, and how the enemy, you Edomites, the so-called white man, is, like I said, further oppressing you, man, creating things that, they know niggas are targeting, and like I said, profiting off of Jake's insecurities, But we're going to just read a little bit of this passage and go into some scripts, okay? And it's funny because Esau, has this tie to Ham, but when we go into the scripts, the first person Esau married into, or the first other nation Esau married into, were descendants of Ham, okay? Matter of fact, let's just go into that real briefly, okay? And we got to pull it up. But matter of fact, let's go to Genesis, the 36th chapter. All right. Let's just start at Genesis, the 36th chapter at the top. Now, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom, the so-called white man. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan: Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Ahalibamah, the daughter of Anaiah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Beth-Shemoth, Ishmael's daughter, sisters of Nebajoth. All right, and once you understand that Esau is a so-called white man, he married into these dark nations, which they all were pretty much dark skinned besides himself. All right, to try and get his pigment back, but we know Esau is black as all hell. All right, and but let's go into this real quick, because you go into the Hivites. All right, of course we know Canaan is a descendant from Ham, and we're gonna get that too in Genesis, the 10th chapter. Okay, but also the Hittites, I believe, are descendants from Canaan, which Canaan is a descendant from Ham. So these are all Hamitic tribes, all right, that Esau was mingling with. And you see that Esau gets a lot of his customs from Ham. Okay, so Esau and Ham has this allegiance or alliance, whichever word it is, towards each other. That's why, you get a lot of Hamites who come over here. Esau knows the difference from an Israelite and a Hamite, you know. That's why they set these Hamites up in them nice masjids, and they get free insurance and don't have to pay taxes, so on and so forth. Okay, because their allegiance, all right, goes far back, all right, to the ancient world. It says Hittite descendants of Heth, the nation descended from Heth, the second son of Canaan, once inhabitants of central Anatolia, modern Turkey, later in North Lebanon. All right. So understanding that Esau, the so-called white man, married into, all right, the lineage of the Hamites. Now we're going to go to Genesis the 10th chapter and further prove that. All right, understanding the Hamite tribes. All right, and their lineage. Okay, so this is Genesis the 10th chapter. I'm going to start at verse 5. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families and their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, which Mizraim is the so-called Egyptians, and Put and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Subta, and Ra'ama, and Subchika, and the sons of Ra'ama, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. All right, now let's jump down, going back into the lineage. All right, and begin his kingdom was Babal and Erich and Akkad and Chaldea and the land of Shinar. Out of the land went forth Asher and built in Nineveh and the city Rehoboth and Calah. And Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim and Anam and Lehabim and Nephtuhim and Pathruzim and Kasulhim, out of whom came Philistim. All right, so the Lord is, pretty much, repopulating the earth through the sons of Noah, Ham, and Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, and these are all the tribes, the tribes that descended from those three men. Okay, and all the nations that we see today. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. All right, which Heth, like we just went into, all right, was the son of Canaan, all right, which in Genesis the 36th chapter was the Hittites. Okay, hey, over here in the NLT it says Canaan's oldest son was Sidon, the ancestor of the Sidonians. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Hittites. Okay, so going to show you that Esau has always had a allegiance with, the Hamites, whether it be the Egyptians or any other tribe that came out of the line of Ham. All right, it says in the Jebusite and the Amorite and the Girgasite and the Hivite and the Arkite and the Sinites. All right, so just going into the various tribes that derived from their forefather Ham. All right, and just like we read, and Holibama, Salaki for the pronunciation, Jake, the daughter of Aniah, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite, all right, another tribe that came out of the line of Ham, all right. And it goes down to show you Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan, right? So Esau always mingled himself with the Hamites, all right, in their respective tribes, all right. So let's go into this quick article concerning wigs. And like I said, I just, bringing this out just to go to show you that wigs are a heathenistic custom. All right, that's pretty much the premise of the video for you women. Wigs are a heathenistic custom. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, if you wearing wigs, you're pretty much showing your allegiance to the heathenistic nations, okay? And that shit's off. That's not our customs, man. But like I said, Esau has took a curse that was placed upon Jake, all right, and capitalized off of it, man. Going to show that he's the fucking devil. Here it is, your weird ass was wearing wigs, understanding, scriptures like this. Hold on, let's go to it, all right, and has capitalized off of a custom that you and your butt buddy Ham, all right, used to practice, man. All right, it's Isaiah 3. See how much. I'm gonna just go to the point, really. This is Isaiah 3:16. Moreover, the Lord saith, or moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, who are the true biblical Israelites, are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, right? So the Lord pretty much made your ass bald-headed, That's why your ass ain't got no hair. He smite the top of your head. Let's see, they probably got to cause a scab upon smite with scab. Put a body, gather together, smite with scab, cleave. To scrape out, but in certain peculiar senses, removal of association, body, cleave, smite, scab. Let's see. Let's see what the NLT say. It says, so the Lord will send scabs on her head. The Lord will make beautiful Zion bald. Plain. And that's exact. And see, look, scriptures like this goes to show you who are the true biblical Israelites. Okay, who else deals with baldness as far as women? What other woman on the planet deals with baldness? Okay, or short hair? And you ain't gotta necessarily be fucking like damn Charles Barkley or anything, But in the sense that you're not increasing your hair follicles aren't increasing, all right, in the way that they should be. You see every other nations, their hair stretches down to their their shoulders, mid back, shit, some to their to their buttocks, so on and so forth. But you so-called black woman, all right, your hair barely get past your ears in most cases, Why is that? Because the Lord cursed you, all right? So yeah, we're gonna read this article real quick through the Spirit, and it's get some edification and a little bit of history as well concerning wigs and it being a heathenistic custom. All right, give me 1 second. It's a lot. All right, so let's read this. It says, in ancient Egypt, both males and females wore wigs made either from human hair, sheep's wool, or vegetable fibers, depending upon their social status. There were a number of benefits of Egyptians for shaving their heads. First, it was more comfortable in a hot Egyptian climate. not to have hair. That's bullshit. Secondly, a bald-headed help avoid the danger of infestation of lice. That makes sense. But that's because you damn hand mice were nasty, you know? Which was a problem at the time. However, it appears that Egyptians preferred having hair, which resulted in creation of wigs and gave the appearance of hair. Right, so it was like, what's the point? If you could get bugs and all types of other shit in your hair, you could get bugs and all types of shit in this. Don't sheeps and all types of other animals that have furs deal with other parasites and ticks and all that type of shit, you know? 1 second, it's a lock. All right. It says the new wigs also protected the Egyptians' bald heads from the brutal sun, right? So it was pointless. All right. That's exactly. So like I said, it don't make no damn sense. You dealing with the sun rays. That shit burns, man. Well, I wouldn't know, but you have hair in your head for a reason. See, these damn fucking heathens are just fucking weird. It says Egyptian people indicating a person's status as well as their role in a society of politics. Women's wigs were adorned with braids and gold hair rings and ivory ornaments, making them more stylish than men's wigs. Ultimately, the more elaborate and evolved the wig was, the higher in the social rank. In the Old Kingdom period, women preferred wigs and wore short or chin-length bobs. Shit smack. That shit ugly as fuck. Look at this shit, hideous. All right. But let's go down over here, okay? It says other ancient civilizations whose citizens wore wigs were the Greeks, Romans, Assyrians, and the Phoenicians, right? Okay, now, see, you get to see certain customs that Jake were keeping being under these different captivities. And, I'm highlighting the Greek captivity, okay, because, you go into First Maccabees and it goes into, Jake making a covenant with the heathens. And, that's why Paul in his ministry forbade long hair, concerning men, You come on, just think, man. You probably had niggas wearing wigs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a black ass nigga with a wig on, man. Just weird shit, man. All that shit comes from the heathen. For the Romans in particular, wigs were often made with hair from slaves. Unfortunately, due to relative humid climate in much of Italy, there are very few examples of wigs from the Roman Empire that have survived. Both Roman women and men wore wigs, right? They was wearing wigs and shit then. Them Caesars and shit, Whether they were bald or not during the Roman Empire, wealthy Roman women often wore unusual elaborate hair pieces that greatly increased both the volume and effect of the hairstyle. Some wigs were worn worn to look natural, but many were intentionally fake with braids of contrasting hair colors. Favorite hair for Roman wigs was from German tribal slaves with their blonde hair and from slaves from India with their black hair. Wigs were particularly convenient to wear as hairstyles became more and more elaborate, right? So that all that shit comes from Esau. The weird bobs and colors and, they telling you, man. These Romans, the Greeks, all right, which, the Syrians, they weren't Edomites, but, just going to show you that Esau, he takes all these heathenistic customs and bunches them in one. Why? Because he has that Tower of Babel spirit, that melting pot spirit. All right, he takes everything and blends it up, which the Lord isn't dealing with that. The Lord separated the nations for a reason. All right, their tongues, their customs, so on and so forth, but Esau, all right, That's just what he does, man. You know, in Habakkuk, the scriptures say he heaps unto himself all nations, and that goes for the customs as well. Roman statue of a woman with elaborate hairstyle, right? You know, so pretty much a status symbol in a sense. And it's funny because, hey, what is that shit here now? Wigs and shit is a status symbol. All right, symbol. All right. You know, for rappers and shit who got the best wig and who silk press look, you know what I'm saying? The same shit. You know, all that shit comes from Esau, man. All right. He pushes that shit. All right. Look at this nigga. Esau's fucking weird, bro. Bases of men. Let's keep reading a little more. It says, with the emergence of Christian influences during the medieval era became plainer. By the Middle Ages, 1200 to 1400 AD, wigs lost their relevancy because of difficult times. Women were usually required to have their head covered. Fashion was off everyone's radar, and beauty was austere. Then in the beginning of the Renaissance, right? Why? Hold on. Hold up. Back up. Let's back up a little bit. With the emergence of Christian influences during the medieval era, became plainer. By the Middle Ages, all right, and we understanding that during these ages, Jake was ruling the Moors, all right, the medieval era, the Dark Ages, as they say. Jake was ruling. Wigs lost their relevancy because of difficult times for Esau, not for Jake. All right, it wasn't difficult times for everyone. Women were usually required to have their head covered. Fashion was off everyone's radar, and beauty was austere, right? Because Esau was in those caves, man. All right? Esau was wandering in those caves. Okay? The Lord, you know what I'm saying, turned his ass out. All right? Then in the beginning of the Renaissance, right, when Esau came back into power, all right, the revival of the beast, all right, the female hair regained importance, right, because Esau is now back in rulership, and women began showing their hair again. Instead of covering their heads, they adorned, right, because if you in a state of mourning, you ain't got it to look good, you know. This is the female hairstyle regained importance, and women began showing their hair again. Instead of covering their heads, they adorned their kufirs and lustrous veils and sparkling jewels once again. Right, it's funny because they ain't Esau, man. He, like I said, he knew who was ruling during them times, man. You know, before, you know what I'm saying, the beast got revived. He know who was ruling. All right, he know. That's why he just lightly breezed over it, right, until what, the Renaissance period. All right, when Esau came back in power and, you know, start to, you know, repaint the images and, you know, do what he do. Do what he did in the earth. All right. Once again, women's wigs emerged as fashion and beauty became important considerations in society. The history of wigs in France stretches back to the reign of Louis, the 13th, who went prematurely bald. To disguise his baldness, he began wearing elaborate wigs. Historically, records indicate the first independent wig makers gold was created in 1673. The wig now enjoyed the most noble pedigrees from the 17th century French courts of Louis XIII and Louis XIV, and it became a fashion icon that was integral to the aristocratic world of power and display. The mistress of King Louis XIV wore her hair in a signature hairstyle called the La Fontage, all right, or Fontage. It was a fashion look that was copied and with help of hair pieces and false locks worn by numerous high upper class wannabes, right? It's funny because this is all Esau. And now look, who does it now? Jake, you nigga woman. Get the, you know, all the hair pieces and the crazy hairstyle. That was shit Esau was doing, man. All right, now they wearing their hair down to their back and nice and straight, and you know, act all holier than thou, and you know, all that shit, man. It's Esau, man. Esau, boy, that Lord one line, that's a crafty bastard for your ass, boy. The way he finessed Jake and and now look, he banking in big time off wigs and hair products and just gaining millions and billions off the backs of Jake's stupid ass decisions, man. It says, by the end of the Sun King's reign, wigs had spread well beyond the nobility of France. Kings at royal courts across Europe were wigs now a most essential feature of the European noble custom. So pretty much, wigs and shit date back to Egypt, but it was primarily, it's pretty much an Egyptian custom that was carried along or revived by Esau, Edom, okay, during the European Renaissance period, okay, and now that has stretched all the way into today's age, but now it's flipped on you Jakes to further oppress you Jakes while you're in this dumb docile state, So yeah, that's all I'm gonna read on that. It's pretty much a little bit of history, but pretty much it has nothing to do with you Jakes, man. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, it's a heathenistic custom. All right, and that shit's off. Jeremiah 10:1, hear ye the word which Yahweh speak to you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them, right? So we were not to learn the ways of the heathen. Us learning the ways of the heathen is ultimately putting another God before our God, our power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, the true biblical Heavenly Father's name and his son's name, Yahweh Shai, all right, our true God, all right, the God of the Bible, all right, which has his true name, Yahweh, being the Heavenly Father, the Almighty, and Yahweh Shai being his son, all right, the Savior, the Deliverer. Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain, right? This is vanity. This shit don't amount to nothing. This is vain. It's status symbols and all that shit's vain, all right? For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe, right, to what? Carve and shape idols. All right, they deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not, right? They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good, which, pretty much going into their idols. Rather it be, from your common Christmas tree or, whatever. You take a piece of wood or stone, you carve it, all right? You fasten it with silver and gold, you lay gold and, all types of precious stuff over it, all right? Whatever you're creating or making, that says they are upright as the palm tree, right? But speak not, right? They stand up, but they speak not, they hear not. Hey, Psalms 115. All right, they have ears, but they hear not. They have eyes, but they see not. All these idols and customs are vain, man. But Jake was turned out to those customs. All right, in a lot of cases, man. But really, Jake really started participating in those things in the Grecian captivity. All right, which, like we always go into, further proves, all right, the whole story of the Gentiles in the New Testament. All right. Matter of fact, let me just read this. First Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who pursued many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathen. Verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief, And that's exactly what Jake did, and that's exactly what Jake is doing now to this very day. practicing customs and vain things like this, man. Not even understanding that, this shit is off. And all this shit goes back to, heathenistic customs. Okay? And that's pretty much the point. That's all I really had. Well, that's all I could, conjure up through the spirit as of right now. But yeah, Jake is still sold under those customs of the heathen, man. Whether it be worshiping other gods or, other practices, which ultimately you worshiping other gods. All right, if they aren't customs of us, all right, the shit's off, all right. And, like everything may not be a sin per se, but people make it sin because they worship it. You know how bitches are when they wigs and they addicted to all that shit, man. I need my hair done, I need a new wig, and they have made these customs their god. I can't step out without my wig. Gotta have my bonnet on, my hair not did. They have, made all these things to worship. Okay, that's what makes it off. It may not be listed as a sin per se. All right, but you have made these things and these customs of the heathen your god. All right, let's get that. The first commandments. There's all types of scriptures on that. All right. Let's just get this one. It's Exodus 34:14. We'll start at 13. But ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord whose name for Yahweh whose name is jealous is a jealous God. Right. Let us thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land. They go a whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods. And one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. All right. And thou take of their daughters unto thy son, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a whoring after their gods. There thou shalt make thee no molten gods. All right. And that's pretty much the point, man. Pretty much in a nutshell, wigs are off. It's a heathenistic custom. All right. Just a little history and a little backdrop of, like I said, the allegiance of Ham and Esau. And, like I said, Esau takes a lot of his wicked customs, dating all the way back to the Egyptian Empire, Syrian, Babylonian, all these heathen empires, and, mixes it all up in one and pushes it on you niggas. All right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. So Lord's will is edifying. Gonna give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Quadash. All right, the honors to the elders and apostles of great mills on Shalom and Abba.